one of the top officials in the Caribbean, in the region on the whole. Kadeem Davis is in goal for Vere United. Andre Gale, Kenroy Lumsden, Alton Lewis, Trevon Salmon, Horton Wright, Javier Brown, Shamar O'Connor, Ramon Plummer, Tavis Grant and Gregory Cousins are in this starting lineup.
Yeah, Vere, we expect them to be their usual selves, compact, hard to break down and picking their moments to attack.
For Cavalier, there's no Jadine White in goal. Ricardo Watson will be between the sticks. Melvin Doxley, Cadale Irving, Dwayne Atkinson, Richard King, Jerome McCleary, Marlanda Maxwell, Giovanni Lane, Kyle Ming, Jamari Topi and Shaniel Thomas. Welcome back to the JFF Captain Horace Burrell Centre of Excellence as we prepare for this one. Vere United against Cavalier. It's simple for both teams. If you win, you go straight through to the semi-finals this season. And I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see how both these teams will take advantage this afternoon. Warm conditions, of course, here as usual at the Centre of Excellence. And we eagerly anticipate this one. My name is Donald Oliver. Thank you so much for joining us and our coverage. And I'm hanging out with Dwight Jeremiah, who has decided to spend his birthday with us, all of 77 years today, and doesn't look a day over it. Dwight, what are you expecting from this one?
I won't contest the numbers you put up. I'm just happy that you say I don't look it, so that's fine for me. Yes, I'm a 9/11 child, but yeah. This game, I'm expecting, I don't know, both teams have a big incentive here because it's an automatic spot in the semi-final that is at stake. And I think, having seen Tivoli squander that chance earlier, both these two teams will go for it. How they go for it is another matter. I do see Cavalier being very attacking, free-flowing. I must say, credit to them, they've matured somewhat in the last 2 or 3 outings where they've found better balance in terms of not overcommitting too much going forward. And I think they're going to approach it in that way. Like I said, I do expect this Cavalier team in the last 2 outings, as I've said, they have shown much more maturity in terms of being more balanced in their approach, managing games when they go ahead, not looking to just go forward in waves despite leading games and depending on the stage of the game. So give them some credit, and it's possibly the right time, probably the right time they're doing so.
Vere United last season would have been struggling at the foot of the table before the season ended last time out. So few would have given them a chance to be in this position to go straight to the semi-finals in this truncated season. But alas, here we are. And the Shane Nation is getting ready to get this match on the way. And we are off, and Vere United with the possession, trying to make inroads early. Vere, of course, in white and green, and Cavalier in colors that we're not too familiar with. They're usually dressed in all white. But of course, all that matters is their performance this afternoon. McCleary was trying to get a foot in. It's going to be interesting to keep eyes on the number 27 for Cavalier, just 17 years old. And he's from Port Antonio High, Jerome McCleary. So let's see how we'll be able to impact this game. Of course, Cavalier is a team that always tries to blood youngsters, and here he is coming forward, McCleary. He doesn't have a lot of support with him right now, McCleary, so he has to stop the play, send it out wide. Kyle Ming trying to play that one inside once more, and Wright does well for Vere United.
It was good work there by Macari, and that would lift his confidence.
Oh, here's a chance. Big opportunity here. Sends it across. And the keeper collects. Not sure if Shanil Thomas actually got a touch on that one.
Seemingly couldn't sort his feet out, Thomas. Just into... know what was going through his head there just now, but that seemed to have fallen nicely in his path.
Tavis Grant over on that far side with the headband for Vere United. And there's Donovan Ducky, who is in charge of this unit. Not one to promise the world as this one is sent inside the area, and Ming crosses first. Puts it behind for a corner kick. And there's Widow Speed, who's in charge of Cavalier FC.
Yeah, known to blood a lot of young players, giving them the experience. Some may argue whether or not some are ready for the moment when he does give them, but some will also say it's a part of their development, so kudos to him.
Not the best corner kick on that occasion.
We see Doxley for Portmore today being employed in a defensive position. We've seen him used in the holding midfield position this season as well. So a player that they would depend on a lot in terms of their stability and building a platform in which their attacking young players can go forward.
Cavalier taking their time. Giovanni Leng.
Coach Dukes did say he expects them to have a lot of the possession. Part of it too is that he would give up a part of the field, and we see them already employing a low or a medium defensive block.
Couldn't do a lot with that one. Young McCleary. There he is, a 17-year-old. It's really what the league should be about, though, in terms of blooding the youngsters. You mentioned before that probably questions would arise as to whether they are ready to take on the Premier League, but if not now, when? Because all around the world, this is the status quo in terms of youngsters making their mark in the top Premier League competitions around the world.
Yeah, you're right about that, Donald, because they often say only in Jamaica we discover talent at 16 and 15 or even 17 there. In the professional leagues, those players have a lot of matches under their belts. We'll see a player here from Cavalier seemingly in a lot of pain.
Yeah, not sure exactly what took place there, but he needs some attention, Jamal Topi. He's not one to stay down, actually.
Maybe just I don't know if it's a head to the face. We hope that it's not too serious, but like he said, it's not a player that normally stays down for a long period.
Wondering if something wrong with his nose in that collision.
Yeah, we see a player warming up for Cavalier in the meantime.
Yeah, he stayed down. I don't think it was a. Well, I don't want to speculate here, but we can't see exactly where they're inspecting. But I'm wondering if it's his nose that maybe. It could be, you know.
Could be the head to the.
No, well,
But he held his. First, he seemed to hold his forehead, but then it's covered in his face. But certainly, it looked like the head of the attacker just came back as he made contact with the body, just pushed the body forward, and that action would fling the neck or the head backwards, and that's what made contact with him.
but he's up now. He's up. Not sure if he's fine. He's gonna walk up the field. I'm not sure if that's gonna be a temporary thing.
Well, you know, with the head injuries and the concussion routine that you would have to go through. So they're going to want to make sure that he did not suffer any form of concussion before they would allow him back on. So they're taking their time over it, quite rightly so.
Yeah, and it was his nose. Yeah, it was his nose. I was wondering there because it did stay down for a while, and I immediately hoped that it wasn't a fracture of sorts.
Yeah, so we hope it's not a broken nose there.
So they're down to 10 players for now, Cavalier.
But it helps when you can keep possession of the ball very well, that you can play with 10, and a team that likes to possess the ball would have gone through a lot of routines in training sessions, having to keep the ball be numbers down, because that's part of getting you to be slick and getting the movement going, making you operate under pressure. So I don't think Cavalier will be phased by it. For sure they'd want to go back to 11 players as quickly as possible.
He's not going to continue actually, Jamoi Topi. He's actually sat on the bench, and Kamoi Simpson is getting ready to come on after briefly warming up. Ball over the top. Irving gets the throw for his team. So disappointing news for Cavalier and Jamoi Topi. The change is going to be made shortly as Vere United try to get out of their own penalty area. Can they take advantage with the fact that they are one man up on the field? They have the possession.
For the moment, what we've seen is King falling back into defense beside Doxley just to hold it until the substitute has come on.
And there he is, Kamoi Simpson. Usual skipper for Cavalier. And it's a like-for-like change with Topi out. Maybe not, you know, because initially Topi was to have been the centre back, but I think the idea now is to put King in that position and Simpson in his usual position in the middle of the park.
I think that's what they've done, because once we didn't see any intention from Simpson to go into centre back position.
Here's Irving. Irving has Atkinson for company, trying to find him, couldn't, and Vere will go the other way. What will happen here for Vere United? This is Plummer, Ramon Plummer. Javier Brown finding Connor. Simpson. Ming gets a return ball, or almost, committing the foul in the process as he was eager to get it back from Alton Lewis. There's a challenge there from Ming on Lewis. Bouncing ball may be difficult here. Appealing for the handball against Giovanni Leng. One thing about Cavalier is that they can rotate, and they do rotate, especially with the policy of utilizing youngsters. They want to give everyone a chance, even though it's a massive game at stake here with, of course, the 3 points. For either of these teams, we'll see them go straight through to the semi-finals and avoid the playoff altogether.
Yeah, it just goes to show the amount of trust that the management or the technical team have in these players, and it's a good sign, and it will help them to develop, and they will go out there and do what they have to do in a good way, because in the big moments they're put in there and backed. So that's a good sign, and we've seen him rotate. At one game we saw him leaving out both Atkinson and Webster, two of his main attacking, if not his main attacking players. And that game he had to bring them on at halftime. But rotation is not something that Cavalier is afraid of employing.
This, of course, is a story of one of the best attacks in the league. Cavalier against one of the better defensive units.
Well, they are the best in terms of the stats, saying that they've only conceded 6 goals, Vere, and by that token would be considered the best. I don't think Coach Dookie will be pleased with you saying that as well. When I asked him the question in the interview about many people dubbing this one attack against defense, he says, how do they know how we will play? And his team does attack.
Thomas trying to play that one to Irving, and does. Atkinson continuing his run. Just 2 to aim for. Couldn't quite find Shanil Thomas.
But it's no secret for sure, and we've seen the pattern in this game. Vere, low blocks. And you can see when they're defending, it's more like a 4-4-1-1, though they initially set up as 4-2-1-3. 2 wide attacking players will drop alongside the 2 holding midfielders and give you 2 banks of 4. We see Javon Brown there, a very good player for Vere.
Lewis for Vere. Trying to play that one through. Travis Brown was seeking to get to the end of that one.
That was a good attempt from Lewis, trying to thread the eye of a needle.
Here's Lewis going goalwards. No problems there for Ricardo Watson.
And there's a story with Lewis here. In the first game of the season, he was a sub on the bench. A player got injured. He had to come in, and from that game, he has been ever present on this Vere team and has put in a steady shift throughout.
Vere United, they actually have 5 clean sheets, which is actually the best in the league this season.
Surprised, Donald?
No, not really.
But they often say, it's a cliche in football, goals win matches, defense win championship. And could Coach Dookie, with the unlikely team of Vere this season, as you mentioned, were in the relegation zone last season, no threat of it this year, could they go on and win it? Well, they've done the first stage of that one by qualifying for the playoffs, and they could today even ensure that at least they will be remembered for making the semi-finals if they can win here today. As it currently stands, Vere on 15 points with 3 goals. In terms of their goal difference, Cavalier has 15 points and 6 goals. The team currently occupying the second position is Mount Pleasant with 3 goals as well as their goal difference. So either of these two teams win today and they will be in the automatic semi-final spot.
Ball spread out wide. Grant. Simpson comes away with it for Cavalier. Atkinson on the left. Simpson continuing his run as Atkinson cuts inside, and Simpson unable to control there.
I just turned around at the point when the pass was made, and his back was to Atkinson when the pass was made, and the pass ended up going behind him. But as it currently stands, Cavalier is a game at 0-0, so each team would have gotten a point. So Cavalier would be in 4th, Vere in 5th. And as that stand, would be playing each other in the playoff.
Lewis. Plummer. Cavalier, they do have numbers back.
We could hear Coach Dookie there. It's so good when...
Here they come. Thomas doesn't have a lot of time on the ball. He'll get there again, spreads it out wide. Probably a little bit too far wide. Clear. They get a corner kick.
Yeah, corner kick, I was just saying. Interesting to hear Coach Dookie. There's no spectators, and that's the beauty of it. You can hear the coaches and players. And before the ball went into the box, he was lamenting that each player needs to pick their zone up. But once it gets into the penalty box, he's talking about man marking. And I'm a fan of that type. I mean, I don't do zonal in the box. I think it's just too close to goal. There's too much danger with it. We see players here going down, more than one player, and I guess it's the heat from the surface again. We've spoken about that so often, to be a broken record, but yeah, he looks to zone outside of that penalty area, but once he gets into the box, then it's about man marking, and like I said, I can imagine him just drilling his team over and over on the training ground coming into this game.
They're taking the water break a few minutes early, as both teams will get some refreshment.
I don't think it can come too early for these players.
No, it can't actually. Scorching conditions here. Yet to see a goal. And, it's been a quiet game so far between these two teams.
Yeah, I think for the tacticians, they will tell you it's a great game in terms of tactics.
I don't know about that.
The fact that you sit in blocks, you shift, you close the spaces, you block the passing lanes, and you give up possession to a particular way. Yeah, it comes down to person saying it's negative football, but yeah, I guess you play to your strength, you play what you have, and a lot of persons will say, well, we want to see attacking, open, free-flowing football, and the coaches will say, well, I work with what I have. I'm being pragmatic here. when I lose 5-0, you'll hit up on me saying that I was poor with my tactics today. So I guess to each his own.
Mount Pleasant, though, would be smiling, of course, if they kept this up for the 90 minutes.
For sure. Mount Pleasant will be happy that because they're currently occupying that second automatic position for the semi-finals.
Which is strange because I'd love to see Mount Pleasant play more often than not. And for them to be missing out next weekend kind of breaks my heart.
I guess you're saying here you don't really relish looking at...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I want to see Mount Pleasant play more often. That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Dwight Jeremiah. That's what I'm saying.
All right then.
Yes.
All right then. Yes. So maybe Vere can take a rest and go into the playoffs, and we see Mount Pleasant. Because I do like seeing Cavalier play.
There you go.
I do like seeing Vere as well. It's all about different style of play, different tactics. That's why the game is so popular and dynamic, because there's so many different ways to play it, and there's no correct way to play it, some would say, because each strategy or style brings success.
I'm just surprised that I mean, I understand the respect is there, but at the end of the day, these are Cavalier youngsters. Why not bully the game? Why not take control? Why even admit to conceding possession? Here's the corner kick, and it's a... Well, Thomas didn't quite get there, did he? It was nodded away. Still an opportunity sent inside the box. There's the coming together. Referee Nation tells him to get up. He may take some time to do so. Ball sent inside again. The keeper comes off his line and comes right through the Cavalier player. Now there's two of them down inside the box.
Well, the second one was offside, so there's no chance of a penalty. The first one, though, the player, both of them went up for the ball.
Yeah, it was Leng initially.
But the defender just went through the back of Leng. We see on the first play here.
Well, it was Thomas first was bullied, but at least he got up. Then Leng went straight down, and then eventually Ming.
I don't think there was any penalty in that. I think it was the correct call from referee Nation. But like you said, Dama, he's a top referee. He does not get many wrong.
Yeah, his last time out would have been Sunday, actually, when the United States played Canada. He was really in control of that game. Conquer World Cup qualifier for Shane Nation. Simpson in the way. Needs one to pick out. Finds Atkinson. Almost took forever to get to him. Thomas trying to find that Atkinson, who was looking for the handball call here. Nothing doing. This one will go out of play.
I think on that occasion there, that attack from Vere really was one-dimensional in the end because of the lack of movement from some players. We saw Ramon Plummer was deep and needed to have exploded into the middle of the park there to give some balance to the attack. But in the end, it was only one thing on, and that was a ball down the channel, and because it was so predictable, Cavalier dealt with it quite well.
Here they come again. Just evading Shamar Connor, but the play has been called back.
Yeah, Doxley there caught in possession, and referee Nation was looking to play the advantage, but in the end realized that it was not on, and he's there just giving a warning, a finger wagging to Doxley, letting him know you got away with one there. You don't have much more in the bank.
That was Cousins who was caught initially. Haven't seen a lot from him in the game so far, but we know that he's one who can just pop up at the vital time. One of the players looking to make that transition from the schoolboy level as well. It's Lewis who is behind this one. Could get behind Shanil Thomas, and the resulting effort is wide of the mark. Well wide.
Yeah, Lewis fell as he made contact with it, and then Javon Brown didn't really get over it. when the season started, Cavalier would be a team that would start games at frantic pace, and they would look to try and overrun their opponents. Like I've said, we've seen a much more measured approach from them in recent times.
Trying to send it off wide, Joe McCleary. Now Maxwell. Thomas couldn't control. To be fair, it was difficult for him. Simpson playing it back and causing Leng some problems. Leng running back to retrieve it, was fouled in the process. Stylish in his play, Kamoy Simpson, but almost got his team in some trouble there. Good thing Leng had the speed to catch up with Shamar O'Connor. There's Leng again. Atkinson now. King back in defense. Doxley, and it's put into touch. Maxwell playing in a deeper role, because early up he was almost playing in the number 10 role for Cavalier, and in my opinion was struggling just a little bit. Malanda Maxwell.
You're right about that, Donald. It looks more comfortable from deep.
Which is weird, because he's known for scoring tons of goals when he was at the under 15 level, would have represented Jamaica as well at that youth level. One of the top names out of the parish of Manchester, Marlanda Maxwell.
Well, what tends to happen sometimes, Donald, is you go up the ladder.
Get back to that in just a moment as Irving tries to get that one in, but wasted opportunity, yeah.
Yeah, when you go up the ladder, it could become a little bit more difficult, the pace of the game, quicker, more physical, less time on the ball. So sometimes as you develop, you go a little bit deeper, give yourself some time to get into or get used to that level, and just break out from there, because especially when you know that the player has quality, you can, as a coach, that's where your man management skills come in, and you just guide them in a good way. That was a good turn from Javon Brown.
Brown doing well there.
But that could be the case with Maxwell.
O'Connor running out of real estate. Free kick taken. Lewis thinking of the shot, takes the shot. Moving away. Almost looked as if Watson was panicking just a little bit, but in the end realized that he actually had the area covered.
I think he was concerned, very concerned with that one. Got his interest all the way. In the end was wide, but Watson would not have known that and frantically moving across. And we've seen Lewis here not afraid to shoot.
And you have to be careful as a keeper, especially in these types of games where you don't have a lot of work to do initially. You have to keep yourself mentally sharp, and then of course you literally have to be agile.
Yeah, you just have to go with your team, step back with your team, as we can see Watson there, just above the penalty area.
Delightful ball to Ming. Then Ming just wasting that opportunity there.
Yeah, good ball over the top. So you deal with it. And that's something that Vere have to be mindful of. When there's no pressure on the ball, you cannot push that defensive line too high. You have to be mindful of that. If there's pressure on the ball, you can push up, but without pressure on the ball, then that ball over the top is always on. And
not sure if Donovan Duke is in some trouble here.
I think I could see one of the players saying to the assistant referee on the near side the last play that the player was in an offside position. So I think Coach Dookie concurred with his player, and I think he had just probably said too much for fourth official Farquharson, who had called over referee Nation, and Dookie just sat back down.
Yeah, he was apologetic actually. Played
No,
the card well.
no, for true, I've done that many times as a
Showed
coach.
a lot of remorse.
Yes, you do that. You just push the line push it as much as, and when the referee comes across, you just back off and control yourself and just sit back down, because you do know you can get a yellow card. I mean, I do that very often as well as a coach.
He was like, "You could hear me? I didn't mean for you to hear me."
It's wise. It's wise.
It is.
I would say it's wise because I do it. Okay, and you could just hear Coach Dookie reiterating what I just said. No pressure, step back. That's what you do. When there's no pressure on the ball, you can't push that defensive line high because they'll play it over the top. And you sit deep. If you get pressure on the ball, you step up and close the lane. Hold it again. I mean,
the aerial shot of their formation would just be a treat to watch. The way how they move from side to side as one, Vere United. It really is a disciplined unit.
It is. And then there are moments that will trigger their press. Just a bad touch, just a challenge, and the press is triggered. So their job done there because they didn't push high. The ball played over the top, so the markers really had their men, and there was no chance of Cavalier running in behind.
I can see Cavalier switching things up in the second half. I really can. They have the likes of Ronaldo Webster on the bench. Here's Irving, who can be brilliant on the ball. But they're not really attacking in numbers, aren't they? Atkinson finding Simpson. Simpson colliding with Javier Brown. Leng does well to intercept, trying to set free Irving. The challenge coming in. And Vere United now trying to transition. Brown. Now O'Connor.
Yeah,
Lewis. Yep.
Javier Brown is really what makes them tick when they're in possession.
Right. Collecting this one deep. Wright was actually looking for movement. Deciding to play it to his left back. Wright will try again to make that transitional play. Opting for the long ball, it's nodded into touch.
As you see from Vere in possession, that's when they're most vulnerable, but what they do well is to try and be patient and be precise. They're not taking a lot of risk early or deep in the middle of the park.
There's a chance. Not a lot of power in that attempt.
And what you talk about Cavalier switching things up.
Well, here's Vere on it again, and Simpson was like a wall on that occasion. Leng, the best of clearances. Simpson has done well since coming on to the park.
Well done, Dusty.
It's a number of things we see revealing themselves, Donald, in this game. You talk about Cavalier mixing things up. One of the things that they're not doing well enough at the moment to try and penetrate this Vere team is their restart of play when Vere attacks. It's a bit too slow and they take a long time to do so. And that gives Vere enough time to get back into their shape. And we know how difficult it is when they're into that rhythm. And they believe in that 100%. And I think Coach Duke's job made it a lot easier because he's getting results as well. So they'll continue to believe in that. So Cavalier will have to do that much better in terms of their transition from defense to attack.
Biding their time, Cavalier. Less than 10 minutes to go into half. Ball over the top. Looking for the youngster who was bundled off the ball and he was trying to win it back to McCleary. But that was a big chance for McCleary. And, another warning shot. Donovan Ducky was speaking about that, the ball over the top, that they have to be careful. And on that occasion, McCleary was almost through.
Yeah, no pressure on the ball, and so he was able to play that over the top. The defenders not marking there, and Coach Dookie has been lamenting over and over that they need to mark up in that penalty box. And again, no pressure on it, and they switched off. So it calls for a lot of concentration, his style of play.
Thomas. Maxwell inside and too far in front of McCleary, and Kadeem Davis was sharpest.
McCleary on that ball over the top just needed to show a little bit more strength on it. He's a youngster learning his craft, small-bodied, but
it would have been more difficult for the defender to handle Shaniel Thomas if he was the one who was through on goal.
Precisely.
McCleary, as I said, learning his craft, 17 years old, from out of the east.
From your parish?
I was there for a year. Just a year, Dwight Jeremiah. What's wrong with you?
Year is a long time now. It's 365 days. If it's not a leap year.
I know he's from Portland, not St. Thomas, but fine.
Okay.
Although technically Portland is my parish, I love it there. Atkinson inside the area, losing his footing, trying to regain the possession. It's gone for a goal kick, I believe. Nope, corner. Signaled by referee Nation. And once you go to Portland, you really don't want to leave.
No, I spent 3 years in Portland, and I loved it, but you have to love water as well. I can't remember a day that a drop of rain.
Oh, the ball has bounced inside the area, not cleared properly. And trying to get that additional yard of space, managed to get the shot. And Kadeem Davis was screaming as the shot from Doxley had come in. Davis was screaming at his defense, making sure that he was the one who would have gathered it. Simpson again picking up the play. He's been reading the passages well, Kamoy Simpson. Keeping the Vere midfield on their toes. Nice touch from O'Connor. Here is the number 25. Grant doing well just now. Atkinson moving away from Grant. Irving slightly behind Atkinson, but Thomas picks it up. Back to Irving. Irving finding Thomas along that flank. Not a lot of bodies to aim for inside the box. It's back to Irving. Now more bodies inside the box. It's sent in at the back post. Too much on it. Ming now will have to collect. Ming. And McCleary. If he's going to win the ball, he's going to do it illegally, I suppose. McCleary, because he's been manhandled so far in this game.
Yeah, he's going to have to strengthen himself up. Looking for that turn, but read very well by Lewis. Like I said, who've really grown since the start of the season. And to think he wasn't a starter, or expected to be a starter on the first day. Let's see, goalkeeper. Is it Watson that's down?
Yep. He needs some attention, more than likely on his boots.
Predictable. With this, under this type of condition.
We'll already take the water break, and mind you, they took it about 5 minutes earlier than normal, or 4 minutes earlier than normal. But this would be an unofficial break, I suppose, as Watson gets some attention. He himself will be refreshed. Cannot imagine the conditions that they're playing under.
Yeah, that's a tough condition for them to play under.
Vere United, they've only scored more than once in just 2 games this season. I'm wondering how that would impact them in the playoffs, but again, you're talking about the playoffs, you're talking about the possibility of extra time and penalties.
Yes.
So maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, and what he does is not that he's... The one time I've seen Vere look disinterested in scoring a goal, and I mean really, they had no interest in that game, was when they played Waterhouse, and it was at Stadium East. I mean, it was... they had no interest in going forward at the time. I think Coach Dulke wasn't quite confident that he has imparted what he wanted. He had imparted what he wanted onto his team in a way that it was into their DNA. And so it was a game where they just sat and they just asked Waterhouse, do what you best you can to break us down. I think now what he's doing, he'll organise his team like that, but he'll pick his moment to go out and express himself and look for that goal and maybe just try and lock it down. So I think he'll look for goals. It's just that for a long stretch of the game, he'll be in that low defensive block. But you're right, Donald, knowing that extra penalties are there as well. If he's in a game that he doesn't feel like he can match the team, then he probably will just play for that.
Atkinson on it. Irving.
What Atkinson does so well, Donald, when he's in possession, he just crouch a little bit, bending the knee, lower the centre of gravity. Small man, but not easily dispossessed. I think McCary can learn a little bit.
Oh, nice touch. Cousins on it. Plays this one inside the area. And, just evading Brown. Picked up once more. Shot from distance, wide of the mark. Shot coming in from Ramon Plummer, looking for his second this season.
Plummer, a decent player, has quality. I haven't seen enough of it come out. But since his introduction, wasn't featuring a lot early in the season. But since he's been brought in, he has been one of those trusted lieutenant for Coach Dulke.
In the top 6, Vere would have scored the least amount of goals, in fact. Only Arnott Gardens and Malines United would have scored less.
Yeah, and those two teams are out, so they're just doing enough to be in.
Well, goal-wise at least.
Yes. Yes. But
they do have an opportunity to go straight through to the semi-finals, incredibly. If they manage to get a 9th and
yes.
do not concede, that's incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
Less than a goal a game and you're straight into the semi-finals.
It's and with 5 clean sheets, if they add another to it, that's 50%. Well, if they manage one here today, that's 60% of their games with a clean sheet. But the thing too, another interesting thing to note, is that Cavalier is yet to beat a team that is currently in the top 6 at the moment. They have not won against any of the teams that are currently in the top 6. And so Vere's their last attempt before the playoff to do so.
And what a statistic that is if they manage to go straight through to the semis.
Would be. Yeah, so they're looking to boost their confidence here by beating a team that is in the top 6.
Thomas on the ball, trying to thread that one through to Atkinson, who had made the run, but too much weight on the ball. Really do feel sorry for my producer who has to manufacture the highlights for us, because there weren't a lot in that first half, which has ended goalless between Cavalier and Vere United. Well, you haven't missed a lot. The kickoff just about 10 seconds ago, and we're off for the start of the second half. And if you're just joining us, Cavalier in yellow, Vere United in white and green. And it would have been a little bit ironic if seconds in that something interesting would have happened based on what we saw in the first half, but alas, that attack just petering out. Dwight Jeremiah is still with me, and we really do hope that the second half is a much more interesting affair.
Well, two things we hope would have happened is that with the delay in start, both teams would have had time to rethink and probably change their strategy.
Gadale Irving on the ball. Sends this one inside to Thomas. Back out to Atkinson. Atkinson has the space to work with and tried to get the shot off, and it was charged down. Simpson winning it back though. Ming. McCleary. Try to be as slippery as possible with his play. Now it goes the other way. Flag goes up, offside, called against Shaniel Thomas.
Yeah, just a bit lazy in coming out. Vere, as you know, they're well organized and they're in unison, so they just came out together. Thomas just delayed and as such came from an offside position to collect. And this is where you think Coach Dookie would have put in some work as well, apart from his organization, apart from his drilling his team to shifting from side to side and closing down play or zones. It's the set piece situations. You feel like they would have put in a lot of work in it, being that they don't do much exploitation from open play.
Lewis is the one who's behind this, I believe, for Vere.
He has been striking from distance from the opening whistle, so I guess not surprised.
Three-man wall set up by Cavalier.
Some 35 yards out.
The less said about that, the better.
You reckon it was 35 yards over?
Close enough.
He's probably a player not with much guile, more power, so suggestions that he should have gone for power.
Does get the free kick, Ming, for Cavalier. You understand with the infringement on the play.
Felt he didn't need to because the play was going nowhere. Back to goal, in back to no corner. And all he did there just now is just to give them an easy outlet.
And it could be a dangerous one too, because they have sent bodies inside the box. I count 7 players inside the box for Cavalier. There's delivery. Oh, it's a poor one. It really was.
And if it was equally, if it was important for Vere to do well with their free kicks, it's equally as important for Cavalier for different reasons. I mean, Vere, because they're not opening up and being expansive, but for Cavalier and coach Speed, because they've found it difficult to break down this rear guard.
From afar, it's easy to just look on the field and say that we don't see a lot of creators on the park.
I think one of the main ones are on the bench for Cavalier in Webster, and he drives at defenders. He has good trickery, good pace, and he might be one that they will be looking to call upon in short order. But sometimes with a well-organized defense, the tactics don't really work. It takes a moment of brilliance from a player to unlock it. And in Webster, they do have a player who could do that, but he's currently on the bench. You get the feeling, Donald, if semi-final berth is not enough an incentive, what is?
Thomas sending it out wide. McCleary back to Thomas. Probably can consider the first match as your birthday gift, right, Jeremiah?
Wow. Well, in the scheme of things, if you're giving me 2 choices and this is the second, then I guess you're right.
Yeah, select one.
I will quickly unwrap the first.
There you go.
Yes, I did select one, as you see there on the screen. Not the best choices to select from.
Shot coming in from distance, goes the distance. The effort coming in on that occasion from Ramon Plummer, who's a goal to his name so far this season, looking for a second, but really ambitious on that occasion. Plummer would have done well with him assisting with the water on the field just now, I suppose.
The watering of the field. Might have just taken a break. We may see it again.
Sometimes it's these types of games that would help you on your journey to a title. Because if you look at Dundee Holden, who are now out of the playoffs, and how they played, I'm sure, as you see this one coming inside and easily handled there by Kadeem Davis, I'm sure a few of their players watching this game would be thinking to themselves that, wow, they really did miss out.
Yeah, they would feel that way, but I think they started the round with a -1 goal, so they would have had to win they're drawn and Harbourview still win, then Harbourview and them would be level on points, but Harbourview would have had that positive goal difference. So, but yeah, they still would feel like it's an opportunity miss, but Mount Pleasant was in rampant mood. And you feel Dunbar Holden's missed opportunity didn't come in the game against Mount Pleasant. It was the game before that that they would have missed their opportunity.
Yeah, they're on the attack. Ball swung into the air, but no one really attacking that one. Irving to pick it up, or no, he didn't quite reach there. Hurried clearance, not the best. It's a chance to Atkinson. Atkinson to Thomas, trying to feed that one inside. It's back now with Irving. Atkinson. Simpson. Being told by Shane Nathan to calm down.
I think if you had to go a third time to tell him that, probably would have used a coloured card.
Simpson obviously thinking that he utilised his strength there legally.
We're just clipping the foot of O'Connor, and at high speed, it doesn't take much contact for you to topple over.
Here they come again, ball over the top. A wonderful first touch, and the keeper coming out making the save. The follow-up is blocked. A third chance by Grant. They're appealing for a handball inside the box, and they're not getting anything. Well, finally some light in this game.
And if they can do that, why not do it more often, Vere? But that was a beautiful build-up play, ball over the top, and good first touch. Just get inside the defender, but give goalkeeper a lot of credit. Made himself big.
Oh, what a defense clearing block that was from Kyle Ming.
Referee Nation not in the mood, not thinking there was anything doing there with call for a penalty.
Right. Oh yeah, that should be a free kick. No, nothing doing there. Thomas now on the ball. All alone, trying to get by a couple of defenders. Oh, he switches the play well. McCleary tried to get by one. Has some assistance now. Oh, he took forever, didn't he? Now Thomas, now Simpson. Sends it out wide to Irving. Irving with the chip inside the box. The header over the top.
Yeah, I think Atkinson did well to redirect that one.
He did.
Really did well. All his neck muscles flexed there to get it goalwards. Just couldn't get it under the bar. And I honestly feel that goalkeeper Davis was stretching there, but been in some difficulty to tip that one over.
Cavalier set to make a couple of changes. Courtney Allen and Jamar Purcell getting set to come on.
And the youngster McCleary comes out.
It was always going to be a difficult game for him.
Yeah, just sweating his feet at this level. But little by little, you know, he will use it as a learning curve.
Jadine White is now in goal, so 3 changes.
Get in. Keep moving.
So it's Maxwell coming out. He, the one who dwelt on it too long, just now and had the ball picked off his toes right on top of the 18-yard box.
Youngster with a lot of potential, Melanda Maxwell, but hasn't really set this season afar. Being replaced by Purcell. No sign of Webster's yet. Maxwell has a lot to learn still. Now initially, Ronaldo Webster was actually in the squad, but there's actually no sign of Webster on the bench for Cavalier.
Hey, Chope, we have to play fast. We cannot dribble. Fast and move.
And a game like this, they're missing a player like Webster. His creativity, his speed.
Tyrese Harrison is going to be making an appearance. The youngster replacing Gregory Cousins, who's had a quiet game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Lamar Neal is also getting ready to come on for Vere United. Replacing Shamar O'Connor. Well, it's going to be interesting to see if it's a like-for-like change with Neil coming in for O'Connor. Plummer. Wright plays it out wide. Salmon inside. Clearance made. Good play from Cavalier at the back. Real composure shown. And now they try to stride forward. Doxley along the channel. Couldn't find a teammate.
Don't stop, Allen.
Tough challenge going in on Grant, who was left unscathed. They took the throw nowhere near where it went out.
Come up with the line. Come up with the line.
Leng.
No, back up.
Irving.
Up. Come up with the line. 1, 2, 3 line.
Allen. Thomas. Doxley continued his run. Purcell. Here's the delivery inside. Atkinson there again. He had some space to work with, but I'm not sure if he read correctly the flight of that one.
If the other before this one that he took was a good attempt on goal, and that was a poor one, because he would have missed time. His jump must have misjudged the trajectory of this one coming across. Let's just have a look here. Just didn't get close enough. Might not have timed his jump.
Or his run.
Or his run, yeah, more like his run. So he didn't get close enough to it. But that's a big opportunity. You felt if he was able to get contact on that one, and with the effort he showed on the previous.
Ball has gone through to Harrison. He's kept his balance. And will he get the corner kick? No, it's a goal kick to Vere United. Oh, or to Cavalier rather. One of those afternoons, I suppose.
We know why.
Here's Grant.
Unless both teams have look at each other and suggest, you know what, we're in the playoff. At least we play each other here.
Well, sent inside the area. Duxley was in the way for Cavalier. Simpson finding Gadale Irving. Simpson has a space to run into, trying to thread that one through.
I was never going to get that one through. The pressure defender was, and cover defenders were well placed. They were staggered in a way that the gap is not as wide as it appeared.
Here's Cavalier once more. Purcell doing well, trying to win that one back. But Lewis is the one who is back there. Flag goes up, offside against Harrison. But the play will continue. Simpson, Leng, Atkinson.
Games like these, Atkinson have to realize that he has to take the chances, even if it's those half chances that has come his way, because he's not going to get a lot of time and space. But when you do get these players shutting off, he has to make use of it.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the top players, and by no means I'm obviously trying to compare with the top players around the world, but even in games like this that has a lot of lull periods, it's difficult as a youngster to pick yourself up in certain moments to stand out. I mean, only the really top players can do it. You have the players like a Cristiano Ronaldo who would be silent for the majority of a game, and then from the 88th minute onwards, they come up, pop up, score an equalizer or a winner, as was the case in European World Cup qualifying about a week ago. But only the top players can do that. So can you imagine youngsters from these two teams in particular being asked to be a shining light in the odd moments of brilliance from their teammates to take advantage of those situations?
Yeah, as we see them water the field again, as I said, I felt it had a second coming, and it did. But yeah, I can understand what you're saying, and it's a fact, you know. Messi because of those moments. Ronaldo is that because of that. But even at the local level, I'm not saying for a moment here that he should just have a standout game from start to finish and just be running at people and displaying what we know he can right throughout. It's just those moments when they come, and he has to stay switched on, because such is the requirements in the position he plays. It's about taking the chances, and he has gotten a few half chances. I think the first one he did well with the header, but the second one, I think it just needed to stay in tune, timed his run, because had he gotten between those defenders, he could have had a strike on goal. So it's just for the moments when they occur for him to be there or thereabout, to be ready. Yes, I agree with you. It takes a lot of focus and concentration to do it, but that's what they aspire to become. So it's as they learn, they have to know that you won't have great moments. I remember seeing a Michael Owen in a FA Cup final against Arsenal many years ago, and for 82, 85 minutes he was anonymous, and then in the last 5 minutes 2 goals, and he's a hero. So you're right, it's the great players who are able to do that, but he aspires and he has the talent to be able to do so. So we have to set the bar high for them.
Ricardo Dennis is open to make an impact. He has come on for Corton Wright for Vere United. Let's see if he can make a difference utilizing his speed in this game. Thing about it is that of course the youngsters don't have that pedigree to work with, so if they're not doing well after 70, 80 minutes, they're usually brought off. That's the thing. There's no 88th minute or 90th minute opportunity for them.
As a coach, for me, there's certain players that I keep on the field for as long as they're able to stay there, because I know they just need one moment, just a moment of brilliance, and they may not do well for 80, 88 minutes, 89, but...
Lovely play by Cavalier. Atkinson trying to get the shot off. He was robbed of the ball. And referee Nation saying that last touch off Atkinson, and it's going to be a goal kick to Vere.
And we'll see confirmation of that here. Referee Nation has good eyes.
Better than mine, that's for sure. And I have a couple more.
Yeah.
Leng. Doxley. You know, we may actually see a scrappy goal in this one.
Yeah, you could. It seems at the moment that it is Cavalier who is looking most likely to get that.
Thomas. Ball played inside, and Davis with a cry collecting. Cavalier have started to press a little bit more, and that's why they're winning possession. Purcell. And here it's picked up by Dennis. Dennis playing it across to Grant. Tavis Grant, and the block just in time.
That was a vital play from goalkeeper White on that occasion.
Not sure if he even made the save. I think it was the defender who came across to block it, Doxley. We'll have another look at it again. But I think it was Doxley who came across. Yep,
yeah,
provided the block.
Yeah, oh, that one to Doxley.
Corner kick taken short. Throwing to Vere. Lewis is high up the pitch. There's a delivery inside. And Harrison tried to make something out of that one. It was always going to be difficult for him.
Vere really have gone a bit deep. We see Javier Brown there on the play coming out all the way alongside his central defender. And Plummer not pleased with the challenge.
Leg with an extended arm, as if he and O'Shea Nation are friends in this one. No, not accepted. I'm not your G.
Or to send the wrong signal to the opponent.
Free kick to Vere United. What can come out of this one? Punted inside the box, headed away. Should be another corner kick, or no, the free kick is given to Cavalier. Ming again in the wars. A clash of heads there. And Jay Gale didn't feel any of it. No, he did.
He did. It's unfair to him, Donald. As we know these days, once we have clash of heads or any head injury,
the bottle of water will come out.
Yeah, and the referee will stop the game. You are always fascinated by the use of water, you say, Donald, and ice.
Absolutely fascinated. I know it's good for you, but I wasn't sure that it could work on injuries. But
and that one didn't look like cold water, did it?
I'm pouring cold water on that theory.
I'm not surprised that it has remained at 0-0 in the 75th minute. Neither of these two teams have really troubled either custodians. 3 goalkeepers have been used in this game. And
late challenge on Irving there. Nothing doing, says referee nation. And Irving gets up and walks away because he probably agrees. Was trying to buy a lottery ticket there in winning a free kick. Katiel Irving. Picked up by Cavalier. Oh, that should have been a better ball to Atkinson. Opportunity wasted as he's forced wide.
Yeah, just too much weight on the pass. I like the urgency with which they move to try and go forward, because we've been talking about that might be their best means of getting behind this Vere defense. Just too much weight on it.
Yeah, missed chance there. It was Courtney Allen. Here they come. Vere United, what can they do with this attack now? Dennis. Salmon. Thinking of the shot, straight to the goalkeeper. Alton Lewis there again, trying his luck from long range, and it's booted long. Real battle going on, and Allen coming out on top there. Purcell. There's a player down for Vere. And Javier Brown will get some assistance from the bench. We've had quite a few stoppages in this one, which doesn't help the flow of the game, whatever flow there was before actually, but yeah, it doesn't help the flow of the game. But let's just say that Vere United, they have had little to alarm them in this one.
In fairness, I mean, everybody speaks to Cavalier and their attacking prowess and intent in games. I think Coach Tukey, mindful of that, and just cannot afford to give them space to run into.
Still to see a shot on target from Cavalier after some 78 minutes. Irving, Thomas.
And that speaks volumes, Donald, to the work that Vere United have done here today on Cavalier, really blunting their attack. And if that's the case, then Coach Duque will make the argument that his team was the team most likely to win it, despite the argument that it's very negative because his team has shots on goal.
So it's about that time, Dwight Jeremiah, to pick your brain. Who is the standout player in this game for you?
This one is like those exams you go into. I always tell people, if the exam is easy and sure you come out with a top grade, that's how you justify it. So use all the time you need. If it's difficult, then it's a no-brainer. You need all the time. I'm taking more time, Donald.
If the scoreline remains the same, it's going to be the fourth game involving Vere United to have ended without a goal. And would also be their sixth clean sheet.
Well, defense is a part of the game, and Vere constantly reminds us of that, but we have to learn to appreciate that. I think when Jose Mourinho once said that a well-organized defense is a beautiful thing. It's for him, it's as beautiful as seeing players going forward with combination play and guile. So it's for each his own.
So here's Cavalier, Atkinson, Irving pulls it back. Atkinson blocked it off the crossbar and behind.
Well, you can't fault him on that occasion. He really went for it, and that's what I'm talking about. And not having one of those easy days or the games that he just stands out in. You ask about standout player. That's a moment that he tried his best. And the deflection took it onto the crossbar. That was a good attempt from Atkinson. I think that one wouldn't be stopped by the goalkeeper. It would have, if anything, it would have been another defender on the line that would have stopped that one.
But someone who actually blocked it.
Yeah.
And he felt it.
Yeah, I think Atkinson put every pound of pressure behind that one as he unleashed it. And that's what you get from players like that. And you speak about coming off field, Donald, when they don't perform, but if you have players like that, you keep them on the park for as long as you can afford to, as long as they can afford to be out there, because they don't need much. And that's what you want to see from him. Just stay switched on. But when the moment comes, you take the opportunity. That was a good shot. But interestingly too, Donald, you speak about Vere and their 0-all, being involved in 0-all. They're all the goalless draws this season, they have been involved in it.
Well, they're going to be short for this corner kick. Vere United. Could be prime time for Cavalier to go ahead in this one.
I think they've done what you would expect them to do. They don't have an outlet at this moment. They would have had one. So they decide to go with all the 10 players in the box.
Irving to deliver. Oh, that wasn't the best delivery at all.
It was a poor attempt of a release ball from Harrison.
Here they come again. Oh, lovely ball played through! Ming on the end of it! And finally breakthrough! Finally a breach at the back! Finally a conversion after the shot on target. And the Cavalier, with just about 6.5 minutes to go, they take a crucial lead and maybe a spot in the semi-final.
Well, you talk about a scrappy goal, probably the one to decide this one. There was nothing scrappy about that one. Beautiful ball into that half space, and once the defenders were turned and he had a run on it, such was the pass that he didn't break his stride. His first touch was his shot, and Ming, really neat finish there, giving the goalkeeper no chance. And that was a beautiful goal, and if this game needed a goal to unlock it, and this well-organised defence from Vere needed a goal to unlock it, that quality goal was fitting.
Ming was merciless in his approach and his finish, and the Cavalier in front. Vere, can they respond?
We spoke about the pass, Donald. Doxley employed in defence today. We've seen him being employed in the middle of the park, and he made that pass just now.
Lovely ball inside the area, headed away. Leng doing well.
And if anything, Donald, and you needed a goal to really make this game come to life, I think the right team scored, because had it been Vere, you know they would have gone deeper and deeper and more compact. Now they have to come out and play if they do want to get that.
Going to be difficult to get 2 goals in less than 5 minutes, though, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's going to be. But at least if they can get one, at least they will know a bit about their opponent, because it would be Cavalier that they would play again in the playoff if they were to get an equalising goal. And that would give Dookie possibly some advantage or a level playing field to think that, okay, I've seen a lot of this team, I've played against them, I know what they can do, I managed to hold them out for 80 odd minutes. But at the moment, it's Cav who is heading to the semi-final, Cavalier.
Jaden White's going to eat up some more time as he gets some attention. As we are going to take another look at the goal. They're trying to get out of their own half on that occasion, but Cavalier, they were able to recycle the possession, took their time about it. Doxley was still up, and look at that ball from Doxley to Ming. That was brilliantly done.
He would have seen that pass in his peripheral vision before it came to him, because in one motion he collected, turn and pass. And we spoke about when Vere would be more vulnerable, and it's when they're attacking, and we did say that Cavalier need to be more precise, quicker with their play. This time it was precision that really counted for them, and those pass into the spaces. Vere it took time in going from attack to defense. The transition was one of the longest period we've seen for them in transition, and they were made to pay for it.
Long ball of field, handled by Vere. It was difficult before to pick the player of the game, but funny enough, I reckon that it would have gone to a defender, and Doxley would have been one of the standout players in defense in this game. And then to add to that, he provided a wonderful assist. But here's another ball through. It's Atkinson, and I'm not sure why he decided to cut that back.
He was favouring to shoot off his right foot, Donald, and not confident enough to go with the left. And that's what caused the defender to recover. The defender was between him and the goal, and so once he decided to go right side, the defender was on his right side rather, and once he decided to go, and the defender was able to get between him and the goal, and that's him making it easy for Lumsden.
Corner kick. Allen delivers. Oh, just hit it away.
So Donald, you can see why my analogy, and I did fairly well in school too, using that very same analogy of taking more time,
Yes,
no matter
of
what
course.
it is.
Right. I follow you. Definitely.
Yes.
So you're saying Doxley as well?
I think he really provided the rear guard. Not that there was much
That's
doing
the thing, right?
from Vere, but they were the ones with more shot on target. But you feel the little that Vere did, he dealt with it. So, I mean, Ming in a game like this, providing us the goal, a good goal, well taken too as well, because the keeper was coming to close that angle, and he took it well with his first touch. Judged the way to the pass and didn't take another touch. And so many goals we see scored in football is with first touches in the box. So maybe I'd just go with Ming.
I can tell you that I'm not going to argue with you. One, because I'm tired, and two, because it really hasn't been a lot to choose from and choose between in this case. Obviously, the top two would be the provider and the one who scored.
Yeah, we see a substitution coming for Cavalier here. Their number 15 exited the game.
It's me.
And maybe taking a rest to take up his prize later as man of the match.
Here's a chance again, and no problems there.
Lewis wasn't pleased with what happened.
So you're choosing the Jamaican over the St. Lucian, right? That's what you're doing? Mr. Caribbean man?
Purcell just got a yellow card, and confirmation of that. I'm speaking. I'm choosing the player that lit up the game, a dull game, and it's difficult to light up a game like this, and Ming did that with his finish.
Kyle Ming it is.
So you may get your wish, Donald. You may
Seeing
get
Mount Pleasant again?
Exactly. Coach Doki, despondent here.
No, based on his expectations, which he outlined at the start of the season and the start of this game, no, I doubt he's despondent.
If you believe him.
I have to take him at his word.
Okay.
I have to.
I think he was really looking forward to possibly getting into that semi-final spot. He did mention it in the interview that it would be a great thing for him to do so. But I think, you know, playing things down.
Lamar Neal hoping to bring down Cavalier from that second spot with an equalizer. Delivered inside, headed away. Simpson has been immense. There was a handball there though from him. Free kick to Vere United. Who do they have in their ranks? A yellow card is flashed in the direction of the Cavalier skipper.
And you also see the custodian from Vere going up. Is he going to take part in the set piece?
Well, what Cavalier, or rather what Vere United will be doing now, would be in order, well, the aim obviously is to get the equalizer, but it would also set up a playoff clash between these two teams.
Yes, it would. It is Dennis. And 22 yards out, Dennis is eyeing up the prospect here. You see Javier Brown also there.
Let's see what happens here. The wall is being set up. Dennis is behind this one. Needs to get over the wall and under the bar. Dennis steps up to shoot into the wall. Didn't get the elevation. Kept in play. Tavis Grant delivers. Simpson hacks it out of the area. It's going to be a throw into Vere United, and they don't have enough time to take it. And it is Cavalier. They make it through to the semi-finals with victory over Vere United. Ming was the scorer, penetrating the defense of Vere United, a rare occurrence this season.